Hi, we're Richard and Jackie from Early Retirement Wanderlust, and we are on the Shetland Islands.
And we've got 4 weeks to explore everything that the Shetland Islands and the Orkneys has to give in our VW campervan.
So as we said, we're on the Shetland Islands. This is a trip that's been a long time in the making. We originally booked it in 2021, but circumstances dictated that actually we couldn't make it at that point. So we're here.
So if you've seen our previous video, you will know that we have spent the last 48 hours travelling north. We have done an overnight ferry across to the Shetland Islands, and we have just spent our first day on the islands. So have a look and see how it's gone.
So it's our first night on the Shetland Islands, and we have been asked by a few people if we can do some more of our little cooking slots like we did in our Alsace video. So tonight's delight is actually quite simple. We are just making a chilli. We didn't know where we would be tonight, so we just wanted to keep it simple. It does mean though that tomorrow Richard can have his favourite, so it's a double delight. He loves chilli hot dogs, so watch out for that tomorrow night.
Now, you probably won't be aware of one of the main reasons why we scheduled this trip so soon after we got back from Europe, because it felt like a really quick turnaround. But one of the main reasons was that we were on the puffin chase, and puffins are really elusive and they tend to disappear. So we knew that we had to get up here by mid-July before they disappear.
Well, they disappear at the beginning of August, but I wanted at least a week to hunt them down and spend some time with them. So we have headed south as soon as we got off the ferry to Sumber Head, because apparently that is one of the best places to be able to spot the puffins. And I have to say, it really did not disappoint today. We have literally seen hundreds of puffins. They are everywhere on the cliff sides, and I can't believe how tiny they are. They are literally this big, and they are just so cute. They sort of hop about and waddle about, occasionally decide they're going to go fly out to the sea. We've only seen one come back with some fish, but they are just so cute.
They have a really perplexed look on the face, and I've used the long lens on the DSLR and got some cracking shots that, whether they're good photographs or not, they just bring me absolute joy because it sort of brings out their character. But yeah, they are odd little chappies, aren't they?
I think we have probably spent about 2 hours just stood there watching them. You can't help but just be bemused by them. You just stand and fall in love. They're so gorgeous.
And then in other news, we had to get out and do a bit of activity, and we thought that the Shetland Islands were going to be really flat, but we seem to have got some elevation. We did a walk around the headland, and we had the most amazing view of the most unusual airport. We actually drove over the runway on our way down here. There's traffic lights either side, so the road crosses the runway, and this runway runs between, for what we believe is the Atlantic Ocean and the North Sea, which is quite incredible.
But even more incredible than that, as we were coming down the bank towards the airport, we went to a really pretty little white sand beach, and there was an otter. He wasn't fishing, he was just lying on his back, floating in the sea, enjoying the sun.
So as Jackie said, we're at Sumber Head, and it has completely quietened down now. We found this spot on park for the night, and we're planning on staying for the night.
Yep, we're the only ones here at the moment, and it is just so quiet and remote. So hopefully we'll get a good night's sleep. The wind has calmed down, and we will catch you tomorrow.
While yesterday was all about the puffins, Jackie thought that she'd got away with the old history game. We went for a beautiful walk on a white sandy beach, but then what's better than that this morning? It's a visit to a 2,000-year-old Iron Age fort. Jackie is over the moon about this. I'm just indulging myself in my love of history, and it just blows my mind that someone decided to build a fort 2,000 years ago on the end of this rock spur. This is one of my favourite meals from the road. A, because it's absolute comfort food, and B, it just seems to last forever because you can have long-lasting hot dog rolls, you can have hot dogs that just stay forever in the fridge seemingly, and my favourite is chili dogs. So we just take the normal hot dog combo, we put it with some fried onions, some warmed up chili, some mustard, and it just makes everything so much better. It's pretty messy to eat, but it is absolute comfort food. As you can see, the last couple of days started off with an absolute bang, visiting the Ness of Burgey, where we just discovered a beautiful Iron Age ruin. Jackie had the time of her life wandering around the ruins, but yeah, I just love that sort of history, and I think I said at the time, it just blows my mind that humans decided to build 2,000 years ago something like that in such a remote place.
And then after that, we headed north and we wanted to go to St Ninian's Beach, which is they call it a tombolo, where the two different seas meet. And it was almost like a causeway that went across to a little island. We had a really nice explore there. It was absolutely beautiful. The sea was a really nice deep blue. The sand was just really white and powdery. It was gorgeous. We were going to stay there in our original plans, but it was actually really busy. We were there in the day, there was loads of cars, and there was already quite a few campers, so we headed south a little bit and found another great place.
Yeah, and I believe it's Scowersborough Beach. We found it on Park for the Night, and it was an amazing little discovery.
Yeah, the park up was great because it's a tiny car park and it would only fit 3 or 4 vans anyway. So there was us and another gentleman who was lovely. We spoke to him, who is actually living on the island for the summer and working out of Lerwick and just living in his motorhome on the different beaches, which is quite fascinating. And it was just a great base. We had a really nice sunset. We took our fire pit down to the beach and just had a really nice fire pit and a non-alcoholic beer because we'd been very good with drinking.
And you sort of have to pinch yourself when you stay in a place like that, because we woke up the following day and a short stroll from the van door and you are suddenly on this pristine white beach. There is no one to be seen. And we did what you would really expect us to do, which was have a bit of a dip.
Yeah. I did squeal quite a bit. It was freezing. But actually, when we got out, it was lovely. We'd spent about an hour just pottering on the beach and sunbathing, which I did not expect to be able to do in the Shetlands. So great day. So after 2 nights wild camping, we were running out of water. We both definitely needed a shower. We'd been in the sea and we're really salty. So we ended up here and we are at Bridge End campsite. It's an outdoor ed centre and it's got a marina here and it's got great facilities. We've got electric hookup, we've had showers, it's got a little kitchen area so we can go and wash up, and all for the grand sum of £20, which we thought was really good value.
Yeah, getting into island life takes a bit of readjusting because there is just no one here. It's run on an honesty box system and no one's checked on us. No one's really bothered. We've just pulled up and had the most beautiful night. Yesterday, we had a wander down the coast because the weather wasn't really playing ball massively yesterday, and we found Min Beach.
Yes, another causeway type beach. So it was quite fascinating, this one, because on one side of the beach, or on one side of the causeway, the sand was really white and the beach was really gentle. The sea was lapping and I had a bit of a play with the skimmers, and then on the other side it was howling gale. There was waves coming up the rocks. It was just a strange dichotomy of the two halves.
So we had a bit of a wild night last night. It lashed it down, but can't actually believe as to what we've woken up to this morning, because again, it's blue skies. So it's a Sunday morning, it's bright sunshine, and we have made the decision that we are going to head north, because ultimately we want to get to the Isle of Unst, but to get there we've got to go over the Isle of Yell, which involves catching 2 ferries, and what we don't want to do is run out of time. So we're going to fire up north and we're going to pootle our way back ultimately in 10 days time for our ferry to the Orkneys. So that's our sort of rough plans as far as it goes.